Hello, Divine Sunshiners. Stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste, Namago. Hello, this is Divine Sunshine. I don't know who this message is for. I went through my phone and found, sometimes I put in there old themes of things I used to talk to you all while I'm putting my cards up for my last blue moon reading. So somebody that said that you're sad, but you are not. This don't go with that, does it? No. That you're sad, but you're not. Say you could be sad, but you still got to fight. So somebody's here, I think, that's kind of giving up, but you're not fighting it. We got to make sure that when we're in these energies that's happening with us now, that we're not in reaction mode. I wrote that down as one of my themes too, that we're just being reactive to things and we're not really finding ourselves being in charge of these emotions, especially with this moon that's coming on here, and they're talking about these emotions, and some of these stuff is like things is bringing up old things, wounds that you thought you had kind of gotten over with, but it's still there. And we find ourselves reacting to it instead of like now gotten to the point that we've learned to use the tools that we have and now answer it in a different way. But some of us, and for me to write that down, are feeling like we're sad, and it's like we don't have the fight either. And that's another way of just reacting without you really learning how to be able to maybe respond. You know, that's a thing that a lot of times here lately when we're talking about how the world turns, almost like the soap opera, a lot of us have kind of grown accustomed to that being cute. And the reason why that has happened is because of reality TV too. The state of society, the way how we're now being trained. You get more so, more audience, more claps, more ways of praise when you have more coming from a standpoint of you reacting to things. I look at that, you know, a lot of times when you're looking at reality shows, most time, you know, you could see some of them when they get off those different shows, it's like, well, they told us to act that way because they get more viewership, you know, and then it causes us, those of us that kind of watch that, to be able to be reactionary. Is like to be reactionary is rewarded instead of somebody saying, hey, you know, it's better ways to do that, because a lot of times you're reactionary to things, and you know, like they said, like the saying I'm learning now again, if somebody makes you angry, that's your master. And a lot of times I have to kind of still deal with that. And if you're allowing things to kind of come along and upset you like that, we have to remember that that is an issue, that we still, a trigger, a thing, something that's going on within us that we still have to handle. And when those things come, like I did the overall moon energies, it's not something for us to start beating ourselves up about. It's just really something that we got to take introspection in and say, okay, I think we got to go back and revisit that again, because it's something that I thought I had handled, but actually Spirit is telling me whatever the solution that I thought I came up with, that wasn't the right response or that wasn't the right solution to that problem. So we had to find ourselves trying out, going back to the old drawing board and saying, okay, let's take another look-see at this again. Not to become sad about it, because I feel like some of you look at it again, it's like, damn, well, what the heck else you want me to do? You know, I thought I done tackled this, and I know that even with myself, some things I thought so too, and I'm like, I don't see the needle, the needle moving. It's still right there. So evidently it's something that I'm applying to that's not right. And then you have a tendency to, because of that, and especially like they say in these energies that the moon is bringing in, and you're dealing with emotions, and it's highly emotional that this moon that is bringing in, you have a tendency to kind of just submit to it and succumb to it. And just like, you know, this effort, just forget it. because it looked like, it's not coming together and you become sad. Now, that's not you, that's talking to your twin flame person that's down the street from you. That's not your story. We don't do that because we understand that we don't take L's on this journey. We take lessons. But every now and then, and I even admit myself as divine sunshine, that we have those moments where we're just saying, like, dang, just forget it, I'm going to wallow in my self-pity, and I don't feel like, hey, if it ain't moving, then, I'm going to get all upset and pout with spirit and throw a little tantrum and say I ain't really understanding. Maybe I ain't going to do nothing since this is not working out. But, even when we, like I said, those sad moments like that, we still have to find somewhere within ourselves to come up with that fighting spirit within us. And especially with these holidays, I remember Kathy D's talked about that. We got to be a little kind of watching because the holidays is coming. We got a lot of things going on with as far as the money. Some of us may not have the ability to do that, that be having that celebration because of financial things. Another way of looking at it is because of COVID. Somebody can hear you all say, that ain't got nothing to do with me. It's just the COVID, that's limited us to have so many people over like we want to. Maybe you might too. I seen somebody was talking about that. Maybe they wanted to have grandma be a part of Thanksgiving. We can't be with grandma. Grandma's up there in age. And so if we have everybody, family members come around, that would cause for, to put grandma or granddad in jeopardy. So we have to kind of watch that, and that causes a certain amount because, you love grandma's cooking or whatever, being around grandma, and that's a source of things. And so that causes you to kind of go into that depression as well, that sadness as well. But, you got to fight your way and say, okay, well, what's another way we could do that? Might not can see grandma, but maybe somebody that we know that don't have COVID could go over there to grandma and put the Zoom on, or something like that. Don't overdo a grandma with that, but set the Zoom up for grandma, hit the play, step out the room or whatever like that, and say, just talk to grandma so we can have Thanksgiving at the same time. It's not going to be the same, but at least you get to see grandma and talk to her and everything like that. At the same time, it's always inventive ways how you can kind of get around those things. I think about they had one time here in the news, there was somebody that was wanted to see their mother and the grandmother for a long time. They hadn't seen her, and they asked the fire department got into it, and they lifted them up on the ladder, and they were able to see the grandmother, and she started crying. So, oh my God, they had brought her up, they had surprised her, and they brought her up to the window up in her little high-rise place, was senior citizen assistance place, and brought her up there, and she's like, oh my gosh. She came up to the window, and the whole family was on the fire ladder, and so that was so sweet. So hey, if it's a will, there's a way, but you got to fight. You can't just give up and say, well, we ain't gonna see grandma this Thanksgiving. There's ways to do that. And again, like I said, we have a tendency, because a lot of things is happening around these times, depression, winter blues, not seeing sun, those things. I'm not saying excuses, because you can always, it's your mindset, your intentionalities about anything, you can rise above that and not let that be a stumbling block or a block or a wall up that's not allowing you to be able to do and be with the one that you love, or to see and do those things like that. And even with the money things, situations that's going on as well, again, let's not be sad. Again, still have that fighting spirit, again, whichever way it is. I do like my mom even said, you let it happen to you for a while, give yourself, should be less than 24 hours, but sometimes you got to give yourself a day. And then the next day when you say, okay, all right, snap out of it. We ain't going to stay in here that long. From each day, for this day forward, I gave you one day to do the pity party. I used to have a student in my classroom. He'd be like that. He was Aquarius. And he was shut down like that. And I would tell him, okay, now you got an hour. I'm going to let you have that pity party. You step outside and have that pity party, and then when that hour's up, I'm going to come out there and get you, and then you got to snap out of it. Derek, that was his name. I said, you got to snap out of it. You can't stay in this, okay? Because first of all, I'm empathic. I'm saying to myself, I can feel your energy. I can't deal with that. You got to snap out of it. You know, at that time I was sensitive, not knowing how to cut it off. But anyway, it was so low I could feel it. And so he would snap out. I said, okay, Dad, that's it. Your hour up. Let's go. You know, you have to kind of have those moments where you snap out of it. So I don't know who I'm speaking to, but when I looked on my phone, I said, I don't remember me putting that title down at all for anything. But I guess right now, these are the times, especially with the energies, like I say, about emotions. This is the time that I guess they want me to talk about it. So I found it in my phone. I used to put it in there because, like, if titles come to me, I say, oh, I do this, and I'll come back to it. That's something that Spirit wanted me to come and visit on and do that with you all about these energies, and understanding that, again, even though you're sad or you're depressed or whatever, you still got to fight. Okay? All right. As always, stay uplifted, stay motivated, stay ascended. Namaste. I'm going to go. Love you.